Hello, my name's John, and welcome to my shop. This is one of my first videos that I'm going to be able to narrate and hopefully show you what I do and things that I make or even try to attempt to fix. One of the things I'd like to do is give thanks out to a lot of the ones that's been out on YouTube. That's been showing a lot of people, including myself, different techniques and teaching me things that I didn't know. And one of the first ones that I run across to is Mr. Pete222, I believe is his YouTube site. He's a very good teacher. I've learned a lot from him watching his YouTubes. If you haven't seen him, you need to check out his site. He's very good. Also, Keith Finner was another one early on that when I started watching YouTube that teaches quite a bit. He takes a lot of time putting together instructional videos on the work that he does that's helped me quite a bit. Also, Keith Rucker, I enjoy his, showing him working on a lot of antique equipment. He shows quite a bit of different techniques and things to do that's also helped. Also, there's a few others I'd like to mention that I watch quite a bit, which is the Lazy Machinist. I believe he's up in Canada, which is a very good site. Tom Ox Tools is a very good one. Adam Booth, which A-Bomb 79. Watch quite a bit of his. He shows a lot. He's got that Monarch, which I also have one too, that I'll show later, that I enjoy very much. And also Tom's Techniques. That's just a few of many that I watch, but those are the ones that I've watched quite a bit of and learned a lot from, and I appreciate that. So I'm not a professional. I'm not having any formal schooling in machine work, self-taught, other than the training that I've gotten from the YouTube. But I enjoy it. I like it. You'll probably see me do things that's probably not the correct way, but it's things that I learned how to do on my own and other things that I learned from others. So I hope you enjoy it. But one of the first things I'm going to attempt to video and show you, and I know there's some out there, is I finally was able to purchase a DRO for my milling machine. And it's from DRO Pros, and it's the EL400. That's the manual of it. And I'm going to show you how I go through installing this DRO. There'll be a lot of areas that I won't show because it's the DRO Pros has a website that shows a lot of good instructions on installing this. But there's a few things like the quill on my milling machine that they really don't cover in depth, so I'm going to show you how I go about doing that. So we'll try to get started on that, and I hope y'all enjoy it, and hopefully I'll be able to make future videos, and hopefully somebody out there like me that's trying to learn this on their own can benefit from something I might show. So I appreciate it, and we'll get started. So I'm over here at the mill, and it's a shop fox I bought from Grizzly about 3 or 4 years ago. It's a 9 by 49 table. Works pretty good. I like it. It's not a Bridgeport, but or an index, but it serves me well. What I'm going to start out with on installing the DRO is I'm going to work on the quill, installing the reed head and the scale on it. The brackets that comes with the kit really won't work because they're pre-drilled, and they don't match up with the mounting points where you need to mount them. So I'm basically going to take some aluminum bar stock. It's 6061. That's a 1/2 inch by 2 inch wide that I'm going to cut out. I'm going to size it up, clean it up a little bit, mill the ends up, trim up a little bit, and just face one side that the scale is going to mount to, so it has a good flat surface. And I'm going to drill some mounting holes, and then I got to cut a little channel on the back side for this part that comes out. And they're going to be basically installed about right here. So we'll get started with checking these up. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up the ends. I'm just going to basically set it straight up, put in a parallel to hold it. I'm basically using a aluminum filler rod on one side of the vise that'll help hold it. A little technique I picked up off of I believe it was Tom's Techniques YouTube site, and I've used it several times and it works really good. And I'll just as you know, I tap it down, make sure it's flat in the vise. I set my knee mill gauge on 0. Just bring down the end mill. I'm using I think it's 11/16. Just back it off, bring it out. I'm just going to take a skin cut on this, just probably a couple thousandths. These measurements is not, as far as this size, is not real critical. Put a few more. About 5 thousandths here. Hopefully that's cleaned up. That's got it. Just make sure I seat it that the parallel is tight. That lets me know it's seated real good and square. About 5 thousandths off, clean it up, measurement. Cut the total length about 2.5 inches, thereabouts. Get it cleaned up and then I'll measure. About 52 thousandths to go. We'll go ahead and take 50, take another measurement, and then take a cleanup. Actually, that's right on the money. Yep. Actually, it's not. Got 11,000. $11,000. Measure twice, 3, 4 times, whatever it takes. And that'll do it. 2-inch, 500 thousandths. covers up with a file. There's the first one. I'll bring in a little closer and show you a little close-up of the cut the second one. I got you a little closer this time. I'll bring it in. Setting my dial on the knee mill to 0. Back it off. I'm going to bring it over and check and see if I'm going to clear the camera. And I'm going to have to adjust you a little bit. There. Yeah, I got clearance. I'll go in. This one I'll go ahead and take about 10 thousandths. That should single pass clean that up. Well, I got it. Turn it around. Deburr it first. Seat it. If you can see that where the parallel is loose, just tap it down and it'll seat itself. And I know some of you notice I'm using a ball peen on this, but it's an area that I'm taking quite a bit off, so it doesn't matter if I'm marring it. I'll start off taking about 10 thousandths off, taking a reading and see where we're at. We need to swing that up a little bit better. Take a quick reading. I got about 76 thousandths to take off. So I'll go ahead and dial it into 70 thousandths. Check it and then do a cleanup pass. Well, I had the movings around again. Looked like the camera was shaking a little bit. I had it attached to the table. So now I've moved it where it ain't directly on the table, and hopefully you won't see any shaking. I'm still learning this YouTube stuff, so bear with me. Okay, so I took out about 70 thousandths off. Now I'm going to check it to see how much I have left to do the final, for my final pass. And again, take several measurements. And it's showing about 4 thousandths. Check it one more time. Yep, about 4 thousandths. Now I'll dial in about 4 thousandths. And we'll take a pass. Now I'll measure that to see if we got our measurement. Clean a few of the chips out so it don't interfere with the measurement. And it shows I still like about 2 thousandths. I was a little off on my measurement. And again, this is not very critical. Myself a little bit of room, take another measurement. Clean some chips out first. Alright, we're good. Now, the next step is to face off one of the flats to give me a good flat surface to mount the scale to. Now, since I'm just doing a light skim on this, now I'll turn over to a softer hammer. This is the only one I've got. It's an old, I don't even remember where I got it. Had it for a long time, but this keeps from putting any divots and marring up the surface. Both parallels are tight, so that's seated really good. Okay. And I'm just going to bring this in, bring the cutter straight down where it touches it. Like I said, I would be a little bit more critical with it if it needed to be more accurate. And I'm setting my dial on my knee mill, zeroing out, backing off. See how much of a cut that I'll have. And I'm going to feed it in where the cut will not leave as much of a burr on the edge, so it won't have as much to clean off. Then I'll come all the way across the other side, do the same, and then just whittle out the center. And dialing in about, I'm gonna dial in 2/1000, and hopefully that'll clean it up. I'm going to use my power feed for this. Just make for a better finish than it is when you try to do it manually. Pull that out, deburr the edges. Now I've got one of the pieces put in with the backside up. We're going to end up putting a groove in. It's going to be a 500 thousandths in width, 700 cut in, 700 thousandths cut in, and 194 thousandths in depth. Start off, I got a edge finder in. I'm going to find the edge on both this end and this side, and then we'll move it in the 400 thousandths to do the cut. Most critical part on this is the depth, so I'm going to check that so it sets flat on this surface and that surface on the quill. Take a file, run over it to knock the burrs down so they don't interfere with my measurement. Okay. Looking for 100. Need to go back a little bit more. 100. $94,000 is what we're looking for. Well, my first time forgot to turn the camera on. Ended up cutting the other piece. Had to make it a little wider because of the contour of the top piece. This is the one that goes at the top on the quill, so I had to make it a little wider. Sorry about that, but I just got finished indicating on the finding my edges, coming over at 200 thousandths over, 400 thousandths up. Going to drill a 1/4 inch hole, and then I'll end up drilling in a recess 3/8 down in. I have to measure at. I don't have that with me right at the moment. We'll go ahead and spot drill this right now. Double check my measurements. Yep. Okay, end up needing a countersink. 200 thousandths depth, 3/8 diameter. Take out my collet and put in one for a 3/8 shaft. This is a 1/2 inch here. .3/8 2 flute end mill. It's just high speed steel. I'd have to bring the table up. Yep. Go ahead and set my dial on my knee to 0. Bring that and touch off. Set that. Zero. Now I'm setting my quill stop. What that'll do is when I bring it down, it'll come down and stop. So I'll end up raising my knee up the 200 thousandths depth that I need. So I'll be raising it up to 200. There's 100. There's 200 thousandths right there. Now I'll just bring that down until it stops, and that should be 200 thousandths. That's it. So that's in there. It's got some trash in it. Now this other one, I'm not going as deep. It's only going to be 120 thousandths. That's because I got that recess, just like this one here. Got this recess cut in here, so I can't cut. So I got to have some meat left. So the screw will be sticking out, but it's not going to interfere with anything. There's nothing that'll be coming in contact with it. It's not ideal, but it'll work. So since I already got this in, I'm going to set this. I'm going to bring that over to, from this edge over 650 thousandths. So I already moved it over 200 thousandths. So that would end up being 350. No, I'm saying that wrong. 450. Yeah, 450 would give me a total of 650 over. So we'll move that 450. Unlock my x-axis. 450. So that's 2, 4, 50. That should be dead center, and it looks to be. So I'll bring this down. Next contact, readjust my quill stop. And that's the stop right there. And then I said, let me double check my numbers. 120 thousandths. So I'll bring my knee up 100. There's 100, 10, 20. There's 120 thousandths. Bring it around, drill down to my stop on the quill. That's that. Move my quill stops back down out of the way. I need to get one of them quick adjusters. Yeah, change back over to my 1/2 inch color. Bring my table back down. Give me enough room to put my drill chuck back in. center drill. Spot it so the bit don't wander off. Alright, and that's basically, other than getting rid of the burrs off of it. I'll go get the tool for that. So deburr these. Lemon's always fairly easy to deburr by hand. Get this smaller one, so that's a little too small. And that's it. It's ready to be installed onto the quill, and I'll do the other one. I won't video it. It's basically the same process.